All right, guys. Well, welcome back to Post Frame 360. I think this is our second episode in the new year by the time you listen to it. I am one of your hosts, Scott Craig, along with the boss, Josh Nolan.
Yes, Steelers fan. I don't know if anybody watched that ball game last weekend, but it about made me sick. But hey, regardless, we made the playoffs and the AFC North champs all in one game.
You realize you may have just pissed off some of our listeners, right? They may not be as passionate about the Steelers as you are.
Well, there's only, wow, never mind. I can't even say. I used to say for many years, I was like, there's only one team with 6 rings. But I think now there's 2 or 3.
Yeah, they're just making it worse.
I know the Patriots. I think the Patriots got the 6. Chiefs haven't made it there yet. But
wow, you're just not making friends this morning, Josh.
Well, I lived in Kansas City for 10 years, and actually there's a lot I like about the Chiefs, but they just didn't look the same this year. I don't know. They couldn't put a win together.
Maybe you should start a little side podcast, Josh and the Burrow'w Sports Report or something.
That's right. Heck yeah.
Hey, here's what we're going to do. Part of the way that we open that with introducing you as the boss. I don't think we've ever told our listeners, you're my boss, Josh.
I don't know.
In our organizational structure, like, you're my boss, right? And I as we were preparing for this podcast, our title for this one is Let's Get Personnel. And no, I'm not trying to be French. Thinking about like personnel, the people that you work with. And I wanted to really share that with like Josh and I. So I've been here a little over a year now and was brought into the structure and was placed under Josh's team. So under his supervision. So I'm his direct report. And, I've done a lot of things. I've worked in a lot of places, and it's really nice whenever in your organizational structure, you have to have a hierarchy, right? There needs to be hierarchy. There needs to be structure and order. But Josh and I have a really, really great working relationship. He entrusts me to do what I am hired to do. But the biggest part about that is Josh trusts me, right? He trusts me until I give him a reason not to. He empowers me to do a lot of things. And for someone who's, I'll divulge my age. I'm 48 years old. I've done a lot of things. I've had a lot of really bad employers. I've had a lot of really bad bosses. But here's the thing, right? So I wasn't always a great employee. When you're young, you do some pretty stupid stuff, right? You probably don't like authority, push against it. You're wanting to make a name for yourself. So I say all that to give you an intro into the importance of, if you're your business owner, it's important. You can influence for good or for bad. If you're your employees, right, your personnel, you can influence them for good or for bad, and vice versa. So we thought we'd talk about that a little bit today as it relates to your businesses, how you look at yourself, how you look at your people, your direct employees, how you look at your subcontractors, and how you look at the people that you purchase from. So Josh, that's our opener, bro.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great opening. And, I think that as you lead your companies, and you grow, and you have to, because we talk a lot about growth and we're focused on helping our customers grow. And I think this is a good topic because we can, I can tell you from experience that taking your time in that hiring process is very, very important, and making sure that you're hiring the right people. And so, at Burrow'w, we do several things. We have, I don't want to call it a personality fit test. What would you call it? It's not a test, right? It's not a pass or fail, but
yeah, it's called the Best Works.
Best Works. Yeah.
Best Works. And basically, it's a questionnaire that you can send out to a potential, we do it here, right? So I had to fill it out. You send it out to a potential employee. They answer a bunch of questions. It takes like 15, 20 minutes to complete, but it lets you know kind of how they think, what motivates them, what unmotivates them. Is that the right word? Disincentivizes them, maybe is the better word. But yeah, it gives you great insight into this person. How do they fit your structure?
Hmm. Yeah, and if you have, you can kind of tie that into the position you're hiring for as
Mhm.
well, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
If at the end you're reading it and it says this person does not interact well with others, well, are you?
Yeah.
Is it an IT person that you're putting back in the closet somewhere to, or
Yeah.
is this a salesperson you're hiring for?
Yeah.
Because that would help you make that decision. And so making the right hiring decisions, doing your very best there, taking your time in the interview process, ask a lot of questions, make sure you've
Mhm.
got a really good interview form,
Right.
um, something to guide you through that process, and take your time, because until you get to know them a little bit and break down that wall, they're not going to maybe be as honest about things. I mean,
Right.
if the first question you ask someone you're interviewing is, tell me about an argument you've had at a past with a past employer and how did that work out for you?
Oh, that's such a
It's just like, come
groaner.
on. You might be able to ask that question after an hour of interviewing, after you've broken down a few walls and barriers and gotten to know each other a little bit, but don't
Mhm.
don't start with that.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I think this is something that's very important to talk about. So I'm glad we're taking a few minutes today to talk about it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I don't know that I closed the loop on that thought when I was talking about my working relationship with you, Josh. Because I said, hey, I've worked for a lot of companies and some have been bad, some have been great. Um, and this is not me just trying to make Josh feel good. Josh is one of the best supervisors, managers I've had the privilege of working for. And the reason why I want to tell you that is because, again, Josh, in an age range, we're fairly close. Experience, right? We both have a vast amount of experience. So, as someone coming into Burrow's with my experience reporting to Josh, Josh could do any number of things, right? He could be threatened by that. He could feel like he's got to put me in my place. He could micromanage me, right? To make sure that I'm not getting too far out there and doing too many things that well, I'm his boss. I should. So this is like interpersonal dynamics, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
we're at 7 minutes in, you may be like, I think I want to just turn the dial off here. This is a little more than I want to get into. But man, I'm telling you, you need to listen to this, right? Because you can have people that use their skills, their talents, the days and the hours in their days. You can build loyalty from you to them and them to you. It can be a great relationship, or you can, through your actions, create an environment where your people are only as loyal to you as when they get paid,
Hmm. Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah. And for me, I appreciate what you're saying. If I'm hearing you correctly, you think I'm a good leader, and
I do.
it's not a secret sauce. It's, if you have people you trust to do the job you need them to do,
Mhm.
it could be very hands off. Um,
100%.
and I think that's really what it's all about. And I think the same about Jeff. Jeff is my boss,
Mhm.
as you look up, and he trusts me. He empowers me. He trusts me to make a lot of decisions for the business, and it I'm sure that he thinks that makes his job a little easier as it relates to having me working for him. And so I think it's a part of the process of hiring that we've built here at Burroughs, um,
Well,
that's helped with that.
it's not like you don't want to, if you try to control everything, you're going to suffocate everything, right? And yeah, are you a good leader? Yes, you're a good leader because making sure you get the right people on the seat. Okay. And you may not know that up front. So here's the thing. If you say, man, I think this is a good hire, I'm bringing them in, and you find out, oh crap, I completely read that wrong. Don't like, don't chalk that up to, man, I'm not good at hiring people. Right. If you don't do a lot of hiring, it's like, it's one of those things. It's a muscle that you have to build, right? If you're someone that says, man, in the past 5 years, I've hired two people. Okay. Well, so you're not practiced in hiring. Um, hopefully you don't have to do a lot of hiring from a turnover standpoint. Maybe you have to do a lot of hiring because you're growing, and that's a good thing, right? But I think the biggest thing, something Josh said, is being a good leader. It's a word that I love to use, not just in work, but in other aspects of my life. It's being authentic, right?
Mhm.
Are you authentic? I have a business. I need help. I need someone to do this in my business. I will treat you fair. I will treat you with respect. Here's the other thing. It's okay to make mistakes. In fact, with a new hire, you should have, we talk about managing your money in your business. You should have some money set aside for employee screw ups. Okay. Right. Because here's the
Mhm.
thing, it's going to happen. And here's what I tell my team. And hopefully I'm earning loyalty and leadership respect with them. I don't care if you mess up. I don't. If it's an honest mistake and you learned from it, man, bravo. We'll fix it. If you make the same mistake again, well, now we're going to have a conversation. Hey, what happened? We made this mistake before. What's going on? Because if it's a repetitive mistake, you got two things. One, maybe there's something going on in their personal life and they're distracted. Now you get the opportunity not just to be, you're my employee, you're not doing your job. I'm writing you up and get out. Hey, what's going on? You have the opportunity to care for your people, not just be their employer, right?
Mhm.
You have
Mhm.
more impact on someone's life than you think. It's not just about the paycheck. Or they make the mistake again. Well, here's the thing. Maybe it's not the right fit. I've told all of my team, look, here's what I want you to do. If you ever decide that your time here at Burrow'w is coming to an end, come tell me. It's between you and me, right? I'm not going to run to anyone else and say, oh, someone says they're not happy here anymore. Come talk to me. Tell me why you think that your time here has come to an end. If there's something I can do to make your job better, let's talk about it. But if you're ready
Mhm.
to do something else, let's talk about that too. You are a person. You are not just a pawn in my business. I want to see you do well here, and I want to see you do well when your time here
Mhm.
is over.
Mhm.
Invest in people, and you will invest in your business.
Yeah, 100%. One thing I'm thinking of as we're talking here, and if I'm sure that you can see behind me here,
100%, man.
is if you're you may have started out your business as just you and a couple guys out building barns and selling barns, and now you're starting to grow and you're getting busier and everything, and you really need to figure out and have an understanding of what your identity is, what you
Oh, that's
want your
good.
business to be, what your core values are. And
Mhm.
you might say, well, what do you mean core values? Well, even at Burroughs, we spend a lot of time talking about and thinking about our core values. We had a leadership meeting a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
We spent 2 days
2 days, yeah.
just talking through our core values and our purpose statement, making sure that after all these years, our business still aligns with those. And
Mhm.
you know why we do that? Because it's important. And if you are running a business and you are building a business and you are hiring people, part of making a good hiring decision is knowing, does that person align with your core values?
Right, right.
And, and your core values, it is your identity. It's who you are as a business owner. It's what you believe in. It's what you want to talk to your customers about. This is why you want to do business with me.
Yeah.
This is why you want to do business with Burroughs, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so um, if you want more information on that, a book that we have read a few times as a leadership team is called
I mean,
Traction,
that's right.
right?
It's a good one.
And Scott can put the link
I will.
right here.
Yeah, there you go. Over the Steelers. I'll
uh,
put it right over the top of the
yeah, right
Steelers.
over the top of the
I
Steelers.
I'll earn us some street cred
Yeah,
back there, Josh.
a link to view the some details about the book. You can probably just Google it too, but he'll
That's a
put
great
it on
book.
there. Look into it. It's a good read, especially like when you get to chapter 3. There's a lot
Yeah,
of beef, a lot of meat, potatoes there.
yeah, 100%, man. I'm glad you talked about that. Yes, guys, go read the book, and we will put that up here in the notes. So we talked a little bit about employees. So now let's talk about the people. that you need to help you run your business. So, vendors. Now, vendors, the people that you buy from, you can look at them in two ways as well. Okay. Are they vendors, just someone you buy crap from, or are they your partners? Okay. We had this conversation the other day. And so I am going to use different names to protect the identities. Whenever I had my own construction company, I had two choices. So, specifically painting. Okay. I had two choices. I could go to a big box, blue labeled store and buy paint. Okay. Go up to the desk, pick out my colors. Here's what I want. And I was going to get exactly what I ordered. Nothing more, nothing less. Well, sometimes I got something less, but nothing more, right? It's you want paint? Here's your paint. Buy. Did it serve my need? Sure, it did. Did I have loyalty? Nope. I really didn't. I mean, they're just a vendor. You have what I need, I'm buying it. Well, one time they didn't have what I needed. And so then I went to a smaller store. It's a large chain, but they are specifically dedicated to paint. So I walk in, need paint. Well, Larry's there. Hey, haven't seen you here before. Tell me about you while he's mixing my paint. We start a conversation. Well, Larry goes, so how much painting do you do? I do quite a bit of painting. Oh, well, you ever considered an airless sprayer? Now you might be thinking, well, he's just a great sales guy. No, he was asking me questions about my business, understanding what I did. A short time later, I walked out with a $1,500 sprayer. He didn't talk me into it. He convinced me of what I needed, and that thing paid for itself in the first month.
Mhm.
You know? And so I tell you that to give you an example of a vendor versus a partner, because a partner is going to want to learn about you. They're going to do things to help you versus just, well, we got the cheapest prices. We can get you that cheaper, you know? Yeah, I know that's sound like I was making fun of people. But dang it, it just gets under my skin because there are a lot of people out there running a flash sale or, hey, we're going to do doorbusters and we're just going to do something for dirt cheap, get you in. And then once you're hooked, we're going to price, then we're going to kick the prices back up. But a partner, you may not always like what your partner does. We're about to go through a price increase, right? I know we're going to get some serious questions. I'm not happy about it, but we communicated it and we're going to try to help you through this, what we hope is a short season of a price increase. We're going to try to help you through it.
Mhm.
That's what a
Mhm.
partner does. So, thoughts on that? Partner versus vendor.
No, 100%. I think I kind of live my life with that idea of being a partner.
Mhm.
I want to be my wife's partner. I want to be
Yep.
your partner. I want to be my clients' partners. Um, I had a client of ours who needed some help with some smart build settings, and you know, we, you know, he called me up a couple nights ago, and I helped him through that because I view him as a partner, right?
Right.
I want to help him grow his business. Truly, it's not just a price. It's not just a service. I view, and same way with the vendors. I mean, the vendors appreciate that too. They're out there calling on a lot of people. They're trying to grow their businesses, and at the end of the day, we're going to be very respectful to the vendors, even the ones that come in that we don't have relationships with. But
Right.
um, we will not align with a vendor that doesn't also match our core
Mhm.
values, and
Right.
that doesn't have respect for our business. Um, so we've made some vendor switches, some product
Yep.
switches over the
Yep.
years because of that, different things.
Yeah. And, and,
And that's
and here's
okay.
it is, yeah. And here's the
Yeah.
business communication, right? Here's what is probably one of the most defining um touch points that you could say, hey, is this person a vendor? Like just someone I buy from or a partner? Is ask yourself the question, what does the communication look like? Is there plenty of back and forth communication? Hey, I've got some big projects coming up. I really could use some help on my smart build because I want to make sure I get this one right. There's a lot of different pitches and stuff going on. Communication, right? Hey,
Hmm.
I'm getting a little tight on funds lately. At my business has kind of needing some more business. I've been really busy and kind of lost sight of going out and selling. Some things are getting tight, man. And I'm not saying I'm not going to pay my bills, but I'm just letting you guys know, like, I'm really going to be stretched thin here, right? Communication
Hmm.
versus a vendor. Well, I may not be able to pay them next week, but oh well, you know, they'll either let it go and let me have it, or whatever. That
Hmm. Hmm.
that's a vendor versus a partner. So
Yeah, I think the world today too, where when you talk about personnel and respect, respect for the people, you know, all right. Have any of you noticed in the last, we'll just say in the last month, have you been through a drive-through? And I mean, literally, I went to pick up some lunch for the family last weekend at a drive-through. I'm not going to call them out. I probably should, but I won't. And the person opens the window and they hand me my drinks. I'm like, you know, hey, good afternoon, and you know, very respectful and thank you. And I don't know that they said one word back to me. And I'm just
right,
like,
hmm
there's a reason you're standing there, I
right,
guess,
right.
but I can tell you this, it wasn't Chick-fil-A, it wasn't Culver's. I'm going to call it a couple fast food joints.
Yeah, yeah,
Culver's, Chick-fil-A, two places you'll go into. You'll always be treated with respect. They're very efficient. They're very good at what they do. And if you're like me, you're like, how the hell do they do that? Because they've got the secret sauce.
right. Well, it's an intentionality, right? And here's the thing. For years to come, we're going to reflect on COVID and what it did to not only our country but our world. COVID did a couple things. One is people isolated. Number one, people got really, really comfortable social media, online ordering. One of the things that COVID did is it made our world become more impersonal. It
Hmm.
also made our world become more self-protective, right? And I think almost to a point of, because you took out the interpersonal and you made it reclusive, and then it was like, well, I can't go out and buy it. I'm just going to order it. Oh my gosh, it's like 2 days, right? Amazon Prime, Amazon, period, right? We've created an environment of I want it now. Oh, there it is. But there's no personal in there.
Hmm.
And so now that, like in our business, if I'm going to go buy a building, I'm going to reach out to a contractor. I'm going to tell them what I want. I'm going to get some quotes. They may still be in that. Some of those maybe, just give me a price. I don't know, the cheapest price. But I'm telling you, think about yourself. Think about how you purchase. It's inherent. When someone is being authentically personal. And what does it do? It causes you to stop. So you mentioned it, Chick-fil-A, um, Whataburger, Apple Store. Like, you can say those, and all of oh, it makes a difference.
Hmm.
And I think that's part of this here. God, man, this is one of those days where I wish our time stretched a little bit longer, because there's a few more points here. But I don't know. I don't know if we'll do a part two or not. But we've talked about vendors, we talked about employees, but also your subcontractors.
Hmm.
They're a valuable part of your business, and you can look at them as just someone to help you put money in your pocket, or you can look at them as a partner. So I think maybe as we wrap up here, think about this mindset. Are you someone in your business that has concern for, or are you someone in your business that is a consumer of? Do I
Hmm.
have concern for my employees and care? Do I have concern for my vendor partners and care? Do I have concern for and care for my subcontractors? Or do I just consume them? I'm just a
Hmm.
consumer of their services. And as long as you get me what I need, you know what? You're not going to hear from me. You're going to hear from me when you screw something up. Like, I choose not to do business that way. Okay. I give people a lot of space. Um, but I'm not saying you become a doormat. You have a business to run your business well, make good decisions, but make them from a place of having concern for, not just being a consumer of.
Yeah, and if you're having to switch subcontractors a lot, Scott, you might want to look back at yourself, look in the mirror.
Yes.
Um, you may find out that if you actually communicated and respected your subcontractor, um, there's multiple levels here the conversation could go, but one is making sure right up front when you establish a new relationship with a subcontractor that you do your homework, that they do good work, that
Yep.
they pay their bills. Now
Yep.
you decide, I want to partner with you because we have core values that are similar to one another. You do what I need you to do. I come to you and I say, how I want to pay you appropriately so that you're comfortable working for me.
Yep.
Um, and then when I come out, I'm going to look over a project. I know it's going to be a great job you did. I'm
Yep.
going to pay you a number that you're comfortable with.
Hmm.
And we're going to keep repeating that over and over again. And that's
Yes.
that's how you become successful.
Yeah. A
But
good
if you're
sub.
just treating your sub like a doormat, like you said, Scott,
Mhm.
you're going to be jumping and looking and it's always going to be something, but
Yeah.
look back in the mirror.
Yeah. And if you take the time, and I know what you might be thinking. This sounds really nice. All right. Um, hopefully that's not many of you listening, right? But this takes effort. And I'm fully aware of that. What we're talking about here takes effort. You may feel already overwhelmed in your business. You may feel like there's so much. This is just another thing, Scott, Josh, just another thing to add. On the front end, it is. If this is not how you already operate, it is. But I'm telling you, it pays huge dividends, not just in your pocket, but in the positive impact you have not only on your people, but your subs and their families. Like, this is a ripple effect. How far do you want your ripples to go? Do you want to be a lake that your ripple goes no further than where the rock dropped? Guess what? That means you have no impact. Or do you want to be someone that once your business is long gone and done, there is someone's grandchild out there that says, my dad, my grandpa worked for so and so, and he used to tell me stories. Or my dad worked for so and so, and I want to work for them too.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
What we get to do in this world can have a lot of value, or it could be just for personal gain, right? And there is more to this. I think we're out of time. We could run long, but you probably see this in me. I'm pretty passionate about this. I'm really passionate about bringing good business practices together with people. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I and we all do at some point, right? We care about people, but if we're going to be employers, supervisors, our impact is much bigger than just making a living for ourselves and giving our employees a paycheck or writing a check to a vendor or using a subcontractor. You have a whole lot more opportunity for influence and impact. And maybe that just helps you as we're beginning this new year, uh, framing how you think about your business and really thinking about how much value you have. Don't shortchange yourself.
With that said, if you like what we're saying, share, like, subscribe, make sure
That's
that you're
right.
sharing our podcast. Let's get this out there. Share it with your employees, share it with your family, share it with others in the industry. We appreciate you. And until next time, let's
So,
wrap this thing up.
yeah, man, we're out of here. We're out of here. Josh, thank you for being a great leader. Those of you who hate the Steelers, I'm sorry. Please forgive Josh. All right, guys. We are honored that we can do this for you. You are partners.
America's
just-
real team.
America. I don't have one on my Burrow'w shirt. So, guys, thank you so much. See you next time.